The Chiefs' future will include a new defensive coordinator. We're going to talk about that coming up right here. Welcome back to RGR. I know it's been a tough couple of days since the Chiefs lost the AFC Championship to the Patriots, and it's been a tough couple of days for me too. I finally got back from New Orleans, back home in my home studio, sick as a dog, but I'm working on it, and we're going to talk about what the Chiefs did to turn the page, and it's really, really evident exactly where they felt they needed to make the change. But this is RGR. I'm Ryan, and I'm going rogue about the NFL and the Chiefs, and we're going to dig into it right here. Once again, today's episode and all of our postseason coverage is brought to you by Insurance Incorporated. They're a local company in Shawnee, servicing Kansas and Missouri, and they've been in business for 40 years. They're independent and they work with the best in the business, including auto owners insurance, to provide you with auto, home, life, and business insurance. If you need these products, you got to give them a call. Check out insuranceinckc.com, and you can hit that in the show notes if you need to, or right here on the screen. Go get your quote today. Now, the first thing that you can do to try to take the sting out of a loss, honestly, is to make a correction that I feel has been coming for quite a long time. You've heard me talk about it on here as well as the podcast. And we have a lot of reaction up on the podcast, so make sure you're checking out the Locked On Chiefs podcast through Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the podcast sites. A lot of conversation on there from a number of sources. All of us on the Locked On Chiefs team and all of our normal guests have been chiming in. And what they did is let Bob Sutton go. It took about 48 hours, somewhere around there, 40, 48, something like that. But as I've said for a long time, it was a long time coming. What you saw him do, or more importantly, not do against the Patriots, was a very good reason for it to happen. And I have to say, I'm going to do a film review of what actually happened, but just not need to get this out because the news is so fresh. So as we go right now, there are a couple of candidates, but we haven't heard anything specific. So I want to get this out this afternoon so that it's out there. By the time you see this, they may have announced somebody. I don't know. I'm working a few hours ahead to try to get out in front of this story. But what he didn't do is do anything to really take control of that game. And I'm looking specifically at the overtime. I think there's some things to talk about on offense that could have been done to save that game in regulation on the offensive side of the ball. But on defense, Sutton didn't blitz a single time. He didn't do anything to create any more pressure on either the run game or Tom Brady in that overtime. He even went to a set that was 4 safeties at one point and just ridiculously passive in its coverage. My friend Seth Kaiser will talk about it on The Athletic as well as on the podcast about how it's just infuriating when somebody like Tom Brady with so much experience and success has such a free look at what you're going to do without making any adjustments. No disguise, no blitz, nothing creative, nothing to try to take that game from the Patriots, and that's what they had to have. So that's where the frustration comes from, and clearly it's worth it. And as of this recording, there's a couple of candidates. Rex Ryan was really kind of named real quickly as somebody who was being reached out to. Didn't get any confirmation as that they had spoken. Now it seems to be that there's another candidate as well. I've been pushing for Rex Ryan for a long time. Again, not a good head coach. I think he's proven that the management of an entire football team and the direction of that big an organization is more than he's really capable of doing successfully. But a very good DC. An aggressive guy, a guy that wants to get after the passer and wants to dictate his will with his players onto that opposing offense. And I think that's key. I think that's the underlying thing that has to be done for this Chiefs defense to get better, because like Rex had when he took over the Ravens, he has some elite players. He has Justin Houston. They will have Dee Ford. Despite this game, he will be on a franchise. They will have him. They have players like Fuller. They have Eric Berry. There are pieces there to make a very good defensive recovery. The other guy that is in the works, in the rumor mill, is Steve Spagnuolo, who has played a number of different defenses, but is based in the 4-3, whereas Rex Ryan is based in the 3-4. So that's a little easier shift there. And a couple of guys that are on the Chiefs staff have already played for Rex Ryan, so I'm still leaning that direction. Steve worked for Andy Reid, though. Worked under Jim Johnson in Philadelphia, is familiar with that. He runs a 4-3 base. But again, an aggressive guy, likes to blitz, uses his DBs some. Again, the bottom line is somebody's got to get more aggressive. The passivity in this day and age in the pass game is going to get you canned, and that's exactly what happened with Sutton. So right now, that's all we know. But I lean towards Ryan still. I don't know that it's over yet. I think the question mark of whether the two personalities, Reid and Ryan, could go together, and whether Rex is really willing to take a DC job when he probably still feels he should be a head coach. Which, Rex, if you're listening, don't be a head coach. Kick butt as a DC. That's what I want to see from him. So I'll have another update for you later in the week or the weekend, and definitely have the film review for next week as we get ready for the Super Bowl. Plenty more coming. I'm starting to look at the draft. You guys know I've been holding off until then, and we've got some good information. We're going to look at that soon. I just wanted to do today is a quick update on what's going on with the defense coordinator, and more news is coming. So check out the Locked On Chiefs podcast, and I'll be back here in a couple of days. Make sure you hit that too. Thanks for listening today and watching all these videos. I appreciate all your support, and I'll talk to you next time.